Suspect says he wants to withdraw his guilty plea and take the case to trial. 27-year-old Ethan Broad pled guilty last month to second-degree murder and attempted murder and stabbing of 19-year-old Destiny Avery. He said he stabbed her in the throat, dismembered her body, and threw her in the trash.
But at what was supposed to be a sentencing hearing yesterday, the Broad told the judge that he had changed his mind.
How is that justice for Destiny? Like, how is what he's doing right now justice for Destiny?
Broad's guilty plea is still on the table and will be until his attorneys file a motion to withdraw it, which then must be granted by a judge. Broad will be in court again on March 31st, where either a trial date will be set or he will be sentenced to prison on his guilty plea.
A Moorhead woman is in jail after a hit-and-run crash involving a pedestrian. Dispatch got several calls around 6 last night about a driver that hit someone in the 1700 block of 41st Avenue South in Moorhead, but then took off. Officers found the car nearby and then arrested 30-year-old Abby McKenna on suspicion of criminal vehicular operation, DWI, and test refusal. The victim was taken to an area hospital but is expected to be okay. Firefighters around here, well, they expected, but their colleagues down in San Antonio, Texas, they're struggling with something that they rarely see, if ever. That's frozen fire hydrants. Yeah, they had to shuttle in water to take down a massive blaze because hydrants in front of the burning building are frozen solid. And you can imagine that cost them valuable time. More than 100 people were evacuated from the building, which appears to be a total loss. Now 6:51 on our Friday morning. We want to get a check of that forecast around here with meteorologist Lisa Green. And Lisa, above zero in the metro. Feels like that nice beach you have pictured behind you.
I thought that you might start thinking about that warm-up. You guys were talking about swimsuits earlier. It just feels like it's time to start warming things up. We know we have a little bit of winter left, but here's something we can look forward to. Meteorological spring, when we start keeping records in the weather world for springtime, that starts on March 1st. That's only 10 days away. And the spring equinox, 29 days away. So less than a month away, and we've got that equinox happening, and we're working our way through Easter, just 44 days away. So it's not much longer that we will start to see and feel warmer temperatures. The solstice a little while longer. It might be a while before you don those swimsuits here, but still, it's nice to see that we've got some warmer weather on the way for those of us who haven't loved this cold snap so much. And, you know, we're a far cry from that kind of weather, but we are still seeing those temperatures rise. Here's a look at our numbers right now. 8 degrees in Fargo. It's 2 below in Grand Forks right now. And there are some spots that are still pretty frigid. Bemidji's at 19 below, 14 below in Badette. But compare that to the way we started off the week. And for several days this week, that area was in the 30s and 20s below. So we have improved. Looking at your visibility, there are places where we have some fog. Over into Langdon now, getting in on that freezing fog with visibility at a quarter mile. And in Park Rapids, we're at a quarter mile. And in Wadena, we've seen some improvements at a half-mile visibility at the airport there. And a live view in town shows some improvement as well in our view here. Of course, it's going to be tougher in open country for visibility. So let's take a look at our radar and satellite map. You can see that we've got those clouds. Those are helping to insulate some of us, but then there are places where it's clear where those temperatures have dropped. Here's a look at your bus stop planner. Temperatures today going to be mild yet again. We're looking at some numbers starting out at the bus stop this morning that can be pretty chilly. A lot of places below zero. Again, this is more for the Fargo area right now. And then as we head into the afternoon, you can see our numbers are going to be getting back into the teens to about 20 degrees today for your highs. So looking good and feeling good, and that just continues into the weekend. Saturday morning, we may see a couple of flakes, a couple of flurries out there as the warmer air punches in. So don't be surprised if you wake up to that, but that'll eventually clear out, and we're looking at some 20s with a little bit of a breeze. And then Sunday for the big game, temperatures into the low 30s. It looks pretty good for traveling here for the weekend coming up to that storm system we were eyeing. It looks like it'll stay to our south at this point in time.
Looks great. Thank you, Lisa.
South Dakota's Democratic Party is calling for the resignation of the state attorney general after he was charged with crimes related to a deadly car pedestrian crash last fall. Jason Ravensborg is facing 3 misdemeanors for killing a man with his car in September. Charges include careless driving, operating a vehicle while using a mobile device, and a driving lane violation.
Prosecutors say more serious felony charges aren't supported by the evidence. Ravensborg initially said he thought he had hit a deer and didn't know it was a man until he returned to the scene next day and found the body. Now, the victims' relatives are questioning Ravensborg's account and say the family will likely take civil action. Texas U.S. Senator Ted Cruz is now saying his trip to Cancun this week was obviously a mistake, and he regrets it. He's drawing criticism for taking his family to Mexico as his state struggles with a deadly winter storm.
After returning home early amid the uproar, Cruz said that he accompanied his daughters to Mexico because they had asked to go on that trip since school was canceled for the week. Minnesota health officials are launching a new tool to help people get vaccinated for COVID-19.
They've done a lot of troubleshooting for the sign-up process since opening vaccines to educators and seniors last month. The Vaccine Connector helps Minnesotans find out when, where, and how to get a COVID-19 vaccine.
Once you fill out a form online, you should get an alert when you're eligible to receive the shot. Then you'll be connected to resources to schedule a vaccine appointment and notified if there are vaccine opportunities in your area. Hunters and landowners in North Dakota may soon have a new tool for navigating the hunting season.
A bill moving through the North Dakota legislature would make electronic posting a statewide program and provide a penalty for trespassing on electronically posted land. Game and Fish staff say hunters should be responsible for checking online and printing off maps to know where they can and cannot go. The North Dakota State's House passed a bill to keep federal regulations away from North Dakota gun owners, and some lawmakers call it the most significant bill they've ever voted on. It says any firearm, accessory, or ammunition that's manufactured in North Dakota and remains in the state would not be subject to federal regulations.
Lawmakers argue since the items don't cross borders, they are not subject to the federal regulations. But others warn that the bill might confuse North Dakota gun owners and get them in trouble. A similar bill was proposed a few years ago, but it failed over concerns of federal litigation. MnDOT is now ready to start naming its snow plows across the state. 24,000 ideas were submitted. They've now been whittled down to 50 for the public to vote on.
Well, here are just a couple that pay homage to the state and that we really enjoyed. Oh, snow you didn't. Oh, just gonna plow right past ya.
Excuse me.
And don't you snow. Voting will be open until next Friday, February 26th at 5 p.m. You can vote on up to 8 names. Those 8 winners are expected to be announced in early March.
NDSU Bison Football, it is back this weekend, but the games, well, they're going to be looking very different from what you're probably used to.
The Valley Today's Brian Sherrod joins us live from the Dome with more on what it will look like this year. Good morning, Brian.
Well, good morning, Jordan, Lisa, and more of what it won't look like, because with tailgating, that's not going to be happening while the stadium is less than 100%. So no vehicles, no buses, no trailers in the parking lot. So it's going to be way different than what we're used to. But hey, at least the game is still going on. Now, capacity is only 50%, so up to 9,500 people. Masks are required at all times except to eat or drink. If you do not have a mask, one will be provided. Parking lots open at noon and doors open at 12:30. You are asked to enter the stadium based on ticket location. People in sections 1 through 6 and sections 24 through 34 should park on the east side, and those in sections 7 through 23 should park on the west side. Now, bags are discouraged, but if you happen to bring one, they said to follow their bag size limit. Also letting you know that the pregame is going to start at 1:30 and the game itself is going to start at 2:30. These are the changes while you're here, but if you plan on not attending the game, you can still watch it on KVLY. So 2 different options for you if you plan to not have tickets, because I heard it was pretty hard to get tickets in general.
Yeah, they're the hottest ticket in town sometimes, and then when you have the crowd
Cut it in half, that
Yep.
makes it even harder to get. But yeah, lucky for everyone. If you want to watch it at home, KVLY right here, you can watch it. 1:30, that Farmers Union Insurance pregame show. 2:30 kickoff, and I heard that we have Kyle Emanuel coming
He's
back
going to be
in.
doing the play-by-play. We have been reporting throughout the week that our normal play-by-play guy, Brian Shawn, is recovering after surgery, and he is battling colon cancer. So Kyle Emanuel, who's been part of our team anyway, a big Bison star and NFL star, will be doing the play-by-play on Sunday for us here on KVLY. Thank you, Brian. And let's keep talking about Bison football. North Dakota native Carson Wentz, he's now heading to Indianapolis to play for the Colts next season. In exchange for Wentz, the Colts gave up a 3rd-round draft pick in 2021 and a conditional 2nd-rounder in 2022. If Wentz plays more than 75% of the Colts snaps this season, that pick will be upgraded to a first-rounder.
Now, the move comes months after reports surfaced of Wentz being frustrated with the Eagles and wanting to trade. The Colts, who recently saw their starting quarterback retire, will now pick up the bill for Wentz's $128 million contract. We now want to get the answer to our question of the morning on Facebook. The question: 30% of Americans say this is their favorite thing about winter.
Ooh, I like this one. The answer is fuzzy socks. Remember, the Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on right now on the Fargo CW.